So folks, welcome back. This is to the Liberia television. My name is Archie Bowen, and we are currently in the first floor conference hall of the 55th House of Representatives here of Capitol Building. This is the hearing of the complaint filed against.
Honorable Chairman, Honorable Co-Chair, members of the committee, my men and I, we went to his office. It was open. Asked for him. Say he's not around, he's not in the office. The chief of office started told us, one Mr. Bodo, who informed us that Osman is not here.
Okay, thank you. Having said that, I would say thank you so much. We will now turn to the flag as to whether the second invitation for his appearance was issued.
So folks, we are now asking the chief clerk.
Yes.
Can you read us the invitation for today's appearance?
Okay. February 28, 2025. Honorable Yekeh Y Kolubah, Electoral District Number 10, Procedural County, Capitol Hill, on River Liberia. Dear Honorable Kolubah, I present compliments and by Director of the House's Committee on Rules, Order and Administration, invite you to a meeting scheduled for Thursday, March 6, 2025 at 2 p.m. You are to attend this meeting in the first floor conference room, House Wing. Honorable Kolubah, your meeting with the above committee is an investigative one prompted by a communication received by plenary of the House from Honorable Johnson S.N. Williams Sr., Representative, Electoral District Number 3, River G County. The letter highlights a complaint of your alleged constant acts that are inimical to the rules and procedure governing the activities of the House. As you are aware, you were earlier invited to this hearing through a letter dated February 17, 2025, but failed to show up for the committee's call, and serious exception is herein taken in this regard. Sir, I am directed further to inform you to take key note of this citation, as doing so will quell the constant uproar that marks sessions of the Honorable House of Representatives. Best regards, sincerely, Major N. Sayo, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives. Honorable Chairman and Co-Chair and members, reading of the citation to Honorable Yekeh Y Kolubah.
Thank you so much. Before coming to the was Malachi, did he receive that communication? No, did he receive the second communication?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so they said he received the second communication.
And there was a response.
Okay, please read the response.
We have a response for the first communication I was sent to him.
Oh, before the second invitation, the first invitation responded to the first invitation?
Yes.
So please read the response for us.
February 24th, 2025. Dear Madam Chief Clerk, I acknowledge your letter dated February 17, 2025, in which you cited me to an investigative hearing by the Committee on Rules, Order and Administration, unquote, as an elected official as an elected officer of the House. It is your duty to advise the leadership of the majority black that their rules apply only to members of their bloc. Please take note that the Supreme Court decision is the law of the land. Any majority black action does not conform to Article 33 and 49 is illegal. I refer to you the Supreme Court refusal to sit under the gavel of Honorable Rachel Kuhn and the subsequent clarification by Justice Blissett that in the absence of the constitutional elected speaker, the majority black decisions are illegal. Therefore, to stay in conformity with the law, I will not submit myself to any committee of the majority bloc, and I advise you to cease and desist as an officer of the House from writing on behalf pretending to be the plenary of the House. Thanks for your understanding in this regard. Sincerely, Honorable Yekeh Y Kolubah, Representative District 10, Moserado County.
Okay, so folks, that was the reading
So
of the
that was the
response.
reading of the response. Before turning over to the floor, there are a few things I want to state out or mention from the House's rule. Rule 48 talk about the observing the ethics. If you read 48.1, it says a House shall take disciplinary measures against any member who violates or fails to comply with the House ethics and procedures specified in this rule. 48.2, when any member is aware of the existence of breach of the code of conduct and procedure, he or she may request the House to take the necessary disciplinary measures against any member who is alleged to have committed said breach. If you come to 48.4, it says the Speaker shall refer the matter to the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration. The House, after examining the report and recommendations submitted by that committee, shall render its decision, and the decision shall be final. So I just thought it wise to state out these various parts of our rules, and I've been told that we are going live. For others out there who may not be acquainted with the rules of the House of Representatives, to know that how we got here as a committee and the power vested in this committee by plenary to investigate into complaints filed against any of our colleagues. And at the same time, it is also important to set it on the record that the first hearing was conducted and the defendant refused to show up. And you heard the reading of the returns or reply to the first invite. After that, another invitation was extended in order to accord him due process, because we told that we are aware that due process is a process is a process on the law which allowed you to be heard or to be heard from. So, but that due process is not a process that is endless, that will just have the hearing every day. You don't count every day. You don't count. No, we cannot do that. So, having said that, we want to ask the body as to their work and pleasure with the prevailing situation and with the complainant in attendance. What is the will for our distinguished colleagues from the committee? Yeah, Honorable Paul. From there, Honorable Gumbe. Okay, Honorable Gumbe.
Okay, I did not listen to the reading of the response from the defendant. If I could have listened to it, the decision had been made long since. But anyway, due diligence and due process have been executed by the committee. The founder think is to write out a report to the body informing them of following situation so the body can take a decision. That's that.
Thank you. Report?
Yeah, so Honorable Chair and distinguished members of the committee, I think the committee has performed her duties in keeping with due process. I think in support of what Honorable Wungwe has said, we have done our work. We cannot continue to come here. And the defendant have written the chief's letter to inform us that he cannot sit on our gavel, he cannot make himself available to be heard of any investigation. Predicated upon that, I think that is sufficient, that is enough, that we read our report and presented to the Speaker in keeping with our rules. I so submit.
Any other contrary view?
Yes.
Yeah, Honorable, by way of Bentley,
Honorable Chair, Co-Chair, fellow colleagues, the committee. I think it will be necessary that the complainant to present his case according to the rule and the rules of this committee to do due diligence and go into it so that we can file this complaint to the primary to do due diligence.
Yes, sir. Information.
I think it's a second sitting. I don't know why the first sitting that was done.
No, the first sitting it was adjourned. So let me just come in small, Orongbe. I think I want to appeal to you. No, the minutes have been read already.
The first one.
Yeah, the first sitting minutes. So I want to appeal to us that in order to satisfy due process clause under our constitution, there is an opportunity to be heard from. So according to the Ellen Snow versus House of Representatives, the Supreme Court ruled that in order for due process, there must be an invitation extended, which we have done on 2 different occasions. There must be a hearing conducted, even in the absence of the defendant or the accused. The complainant or the plaintiff must have the opportunity to present their case, and questions and answers should be filed, and a report should be made from said hearing. So I want to appeal to this body to afford the opportunity to Honorable Johnson S.N. Williams of River G District Number 3 to have the opportunity to present his case, that as colleagues on this committee, we can have the opportunity to cross-examine him. Thank you so much. If that meets your approval.
Okay, we'll proceed.
That's the thing.
Okay. It's okay, right? So, with that said, I think Honorable Johnson Williams, the floor is yours to present the case.
Thank you, Chairman, Co-Chair, distinguished colleagues. The behavior and the constant behavior of Honorable Yekeh Y Kolubah of Electoral District 10, North Rado County, is on public record, and I will believe that even our children know Honorable Yekeh for his behavior demonstrated in public, demonstrated intentionally, demonstrated willfully, demonstrated to the extent that it is beyond imaginable, and it drags the high-end reputation of the Honorable House of Representatives into public disrepute. Further, in the eyes of the public, we have been condoning, sanctioning the unbecoming acts and public display of how Honorable Yekeh Kolubah has consistently and continuously insult members, insult public officials, insult women. I am a member of the 55th. Before coming here, I followed the behavior of Honorable Yekeh Kolubah in the 54th. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah will insult the Speaker, a duly elected official of government constitutionally installed. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah will insult the President of the Republic of Liberia. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah insult prominent women of the state. in the 54th. The 54th exerted efforts to bring Honorable Yekeh Kolubah under control consistent with the horses rules. I think they did well, coming as a member of the 55th and in my presence. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah stands up and insult the current president, insult the current first lady of the Republic of Liberia, insult other prominent figures in the Republic, including the current vice president, the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, insults generally women, and outrightly challenged law enforcement authority. This behavior of Honorable Yekeh Kolubah contravenes our standing rules and procedure of the Honorable House of Representatives. Honor our rules, Honorable Chair, Co-Chair, distinguished colleagues. Every member of the Honorable House of Representatives is bound. It is on obligation at all times, anywhere, to exhibit good moral behavior, to exhibit good moral standing, to uphold the rules of law. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah has consistently violated these rules, intentionally violated the rules. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah feels that he's untouchable. So this is a litmus test. I muster the courage to file a complaint against Yekeh Kolubah in the hope that the plenary of the 55th will do the utmost thing to inform our children that this place, it is an honorable house, and when you come here, you are under obligation to respect laws, to respect rules, and behave in a manner worthy of an honorable man. In public, in the last few weeks, Honorable Yekeh Kolubah deliberately went and disrupted plenary session. Consistent with our rules, he should be expelled. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah walked to the desk of the presiding officer, who is a constitutionally installed speaker of the Honorable House of Representatives, and misbehaved, placed a shoes on his table. That was a disrespect, the third president in the Republic. And he challenged everybody. We are saying, as members of the Honorable House of Representatives, are those who are sanctioning, who are aiding and abetting Honorable Yekeh Kolubah disrespectful nature. His behavior that they portray that he doesn't deserve to be called the title honorable. Our children are watching to see whether it's a good behavior. It is us now to determine, to make that determination whether this is what is expected of an honorable man. Honorable Chairman, Honorable Co-Chair, distinguished colleagues, these accounts of Honorable Yekeh Kolubah are not new to you, are not strange to you. You are aware. In some respect, you were direct witnesses of his behavior. In many respects, you have seen, you have heard of his public display. I have confidence in the committee. I have confidence in the plenary. I have confidence in the leadership of the 55th that we will do the right thing, that the Liberian people will know and our children will know that coming here, we have greater responsibility to uphold the rule of law and to protect and defend the Constitution and the sacred rules and procedure of the Honorable House of Representatives. We are duty bound to ensure those rules are respected. I want to stop here and we'll take your questions. Thank you for affording me the opportunity to express what led to the submission of my letter of complaint against Honorable Yekeh Y Kolubah of Electoral District 10, Montserrat County.
Mr. Fusa was the voice of the complainant.
Police, having heard from the complainant of Johnson Williams, what led to his complaint and citing instances, the opportunity is now provided for us as members of this committee as to whether, for any of us who have questions or need him to make some clarity on some of the allegations made, or you want to make an inquiry, the opportunity is hereby available for committee members. Parliamentarily, as we all know, the procedure, just raise your hand, you'll be recognized and an opportunity will be provided. Thank you so much. Yeah, Honorable Paul.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished colleagues, I want to ask one or two questions to the complainant. But before I ask my question, I'd like to lay this premise by reading from our rules, one or two sections. For the 2.1 and for the 2.2. For the 2.1 says every member shall at any place keep the prestige and dignity of the house and refrain from undesirable acts. For the 2.2, no member shall insult, abuse, or harass another member within the confines of the house, or cause disturbance to the activities of the house. Now, my question to you, Mr. Complainant, according to your explanation, before you came in the house, you followed Honorable Yekeh Kolubah in the 54th. And when you enter the 55th, you met Honorable Kolubah. My question to you is, are you complaining, Mr. Kolubah, for a behavior in the 54th, or you are complaining him for his behavior in the 55th, predicated upon these that I have just read? And if you are complaining, Honorable Kolubah, based upon violation of the rule just read, I listened to you in your expose. You mentioned one occasion where Honorable Kolubah placed a pair of shoes on the desk of the speaker. So, can you give, if yes, that you are complaining him for behavior acts against our rule, and in the 55th, what other account can you give besides him placing shoes on the table of the speaker? I rest my question.
Thank you, Honorable Pope and co-chair of the committee. I am complaining on the Yekeh Kolubah behavior in the 55th. I am complaining on the Yekeh Kolubah behavior on continuous acts not in fulfillment of our rules 41.1 and 41, 42.1 and 42.2. 42.1, Honorable Yekeh Kolubah has flagrantly violated that. At all places, Honorable Kolubah has called for press conferences where he insults public officials as a safety lawmaker. And that rule says you are duty bound anywhere to uphold the sanctity of this house. Sundays, for example, he has a public records of press conferences on Sundays. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah will call press conference and insult as a representative. Insult statesmen and women. Insult the office of the president. Forget about who in that position. In the minds of Honorable Yekeh Kolubah, President Bouaka is nobody else but nothing. He insults on a Sunday, and listen to him. He insults the First Lady of the Republic and challenge women who dare call him to go. Religious leaders. Honorable Yekeh Kolubah, in one of his press conferences, I rather challenge that he will not listen to any call from a religious leader, or just on his behavior. That's how far we have come with Honorable Yekeh Kolubah in violation of 42.1. 42.2. In section, on several occasions, since we assumed office on January 15, 2024, Honorable Yekeh Kolubah has stood in plenary, abusing the opportunity, the privileges he had enshrined in the Constitution to insult the president and describe the president by names and describe the First Lady by names. I am unable to be present in the midst of Honorable Yekeh Kolubah and behave like that and without talking. The incident before he was thrown out 3 weeks ago, prior, he disturbed, he disrupted session, consistent with our rules. That's expulsion. But I think the wisdom and in the leadership, Honorable Richard Nangbe-Kun and Honorable Thomas Fala believes that he should be given a fair chance. On the strictest sense, it was sufficient enough, his display. He came back and he was asked out. He yet didn't stay. When he was asked out, he did not return to session 2 session days. His third appearance is when he came, walked to the desk of the speaker and placed a shoe, telling him to present that gift to President Bouaka. So the records of Honorable Kolubah's behavior are public display, it's on record, and we just, as I said, this is a litmus test of our ability to ensure and instill discipline and sanctity of the Honorable House of Representatives. And I decided that I will not be quiet on it. I will complain against him, and in the wisdom, judging, believing in the wisdom of you and plenary and the leadership, we have to take action so our children and the public will know that we are not sanctioning the behavior of the Yekeh Kolubah. Those are the examples that I can cite specifically on his behavior, and I'm filing this complaint about his behavior in the 55th. When I said in my opening that he has intentionally and willfully continuous behavior, I was just reflecting using the 54th as a case study. And he has not started. He hasn't started. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So we want to also go back to the police. Is there any other person? Have you heard from the complainant?
Well, for me,
I just want to give the new crop.
Yeah, I think we still have questions here.
for me, the explanatory
The letter sent is conclude everything.
is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I mean, the person is not here, and nobody can talk for him. So I submit.
Okay. So if no question, I have a few concerns to raise to the complainant. Starting with the House's Rule 42.2. If you read 42.2, it says, members shall not use, 42.2, no member shall insult, abuse, or harass other persons within the confines of the house or cause disturbance to the activities of the house. here comes my question. Do you have any specific instance or case that Honorable Yekeh Y Kolubah has been able to have rendered insult or abuse or harass any member or persons in person or in absence around the vicinity of the House of Representatives?
Yes, Honorable Chairman, I have a case in point I can point to, I can cite.
Please go ahead.
The day Honorable Yekeh Kolubah was asked out, Honorable Yekeh Kolubah, number one, addressed the speaker, the honorable speaker, by his name and refused to recognize him as the presiding officer or the speaker. Two, consistent with our rule, that's not the protocol for addressing the chair. That's not our protocol. It's against our rule. Our rule prescribes the reverence, the due courtesies, and the titles that are conferred on presiding officers. For heaven's sake, he outrightly and intentionally said he will not recognize her, and he will not do, and he didn't do. Second, on that same day, Honorable Yekeh Kolubah referred to the honorable speaker as a junta leader. It's an insult. He referred to all of us, in fact, in plenary. That was not outside. He is given the opportunity to speak. He raised his hands. He's recognized by the honorable speaker. He's given a microphone, and he uses the microphone not to address the speaker as a speaker, not to recognize him as a speaker, and refer to him as a junta leader. It's an insult. It's an insult. You're standing in plenary, abusing the privilege accorded to you by the Constitution, that what you say cannot be used against you. That's violation of the Constitution. That's not what the Constitution says. So those are the three instances on a single day. In plenary.
Thank you. Before coming to the issue of junta, I'm still on our rule 42.2. Besides the issue of the section, have you heard, besides, I'm limiting my question, besides the section, are the grounds of the capital which in the confines of the House of Representatives, have you heard Honorable Kolubah insulting or abusing or harassing a member of any persons of high dignity within the Republic? That due courtesy?
Honorable Chairman, I said yes from the beginning, and okay. I continue to say so.
Okay, thank you. No, I just want to correct that. It's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'll come back again to you on the issue of the junta. When Honorable Yekeh Kolubah said junta, was this junta statement only made in section, or was it also made in section and out of section?
I recall on two separate occasions he referred to the honorable speaker as the junta leader and on to members as junta. In plenary, outside plenary.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking you these questions is I do not want to make a decision until the committee meet and have discussion to know what the decision will be like. But I want to make it clear for the listening audience that within section there are immunities or privileges given, but outside of section or the plenary, those immunities do not extend outside. So that's one correction I want to make. So having said it was made both outside and inside, so I think we want to ask the clerk to please take notice of that to be indicated in the records, and judicial will say we ask the committee members to take judicial notice. Okay. Besides, you may not have it now as this investigation continues. Do you have in any point in time evidence or pieces of evidence, whether video, whether audio, or some of these instances you are laying out in your complaint or your testimony against Honorable Kolubah?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, there are video evidences of his behavior that we can adduce. should the committee request so.
Yes, so I want to ask that you please share with us as this investigation continues that technology has made the work as a global village, that the committee will ensure that it is posted in our committee chat room, that every member of the committee will have the opportunity to watch those pieces of videos or video that will be submitted to us in order to inform our decision or whatever outcome we might come up to as a committee. I also want to find out, besides the insult of Yekeh Y Kolubah, as you claim, and the unbecoming attitude, in your complaint, I did hear you mention about the moral of our growing up kids. Can you say to this committee, in a very few seconds or minutes, to describe the manner in form does Yekeh Y Kolubah's outbursts, insults, as you claim, utterances that in your mind that are negative, how does it impact negatively our growing generation? Can you convince this committee in that form and manner as stipulated in your complaint?
Thank you, Chairman. The public perception of us doing nothing regarding Yekeh Y Kolubah is not good. On several occasions, I'm called to ask, what are you guys doing? Or what are you going to do about this, your colleague behavior? Is there no rule to bring him to check? That's a question. And the fact that those questions remain unanswered by our actions, it makes the public perception about us, the Honorable House of Representatives, to believe that that's the way to conduct yourself as an honorable man. And our children who are watching, they know that when you become an elected official, that's the way to legislate. That's the way to present yourself. That's the way to present whatever concerns you have. Is to insult, is to abuse, and is to have disregard for any rule or law that so govern this Honorable House of Representatives. The perception of that is very bad. It just, like I said, we are seen as we using. In fact, we are the one who is asking, who is encouraging Yekeh to behave in a manner, and in return we get some kind of reward for his actions. Because they find it difficult to believe. How can this man, this honorable man, in the midst of 72 others, and nobody says anything about it? So they are using him. They are the one who's sending him, and they're getting some kind of reward for his actions.
So if I may,
and we need to say that now to the public, whether that's true or it's not true. This is where we find ourselves.
To make a follow-up to that, are you trying to convince this gathering or this committee that if the rules of the House of Representatives is not implemented to the fullest, and the attributes alleged by you of Yekeh Y Kolubah continue, that our growing kids or youthful generation are going to have the ability to conduct similar action while they are here?
Honorable Chairman, it's a resounding yes.
Okay, thank you. The next thing is this. We come to Rule 42. Rule 42 says prestige and dignity of the House. 42.1 says every member shall at any place keep the prestige and dignity of the House and refrain from undesirable acts. Are you telling this committee that the conduct of Yekeh Y Kolubah of Yekeh Y Kolubah of District 10 has the ability to derail the prestige and dignity of this House?
I believe so.
If I may go further with a further question to that, how does that?
I'll give you a few examples using what I've experienced in recent days. I'm driving in a car and try to hone because either it's a motorcyclist or it's a vehicle who is in the right of way. The drivers look back or the rider looks back. He sees my car with a license plate. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Oh, that's one of them there. He doesn't care. Secondly, most recently, if you see a motorcyclist now is so brave and openly will stand and fight a law enforcement officer, fist fight, dragged the law enforcement officer. That's how much now public officials have been viewed in the public. We're not respected. I think we have an opportunity to begin to correct that now using this instant case.
Okay. We say thank you. Is there any other thing from any member of the committee? Okay. Let me say this to you, Mr. Complainant, on the Johnson Williams. We take your complaint very serious, and the committee is going to do justice to both parties, to you and the person who the complaint was filed against, consistent with our rule of law, in ensuring that the prestige and dignity of this house is maintained at all times. For the purpose of information or history, I remember Senator Chair Chigo. He was then Senate. And my history has informed me Chair Chigo was expelled out of the Senate for insulting the president and his son back then. So if a senator was expelled for bringing disgrace or embarrassment or not maintaining the dignity and prestige of the Senate, I do believe that it is sufficient for us to ensure that the prestige and dignity of this honorable body be maintained at all times. Like I've said many times, it is a privilege for us to sit here. It is not a right nor entitlement. This position is a public trust. It belongs to the public. Tomorrow, there will come a time that we will no longer be here, but others will come after us, and people will still come after those people. And people came before we got here. So I think as much as those were there positively impacted this position, I want to call on my colleague as we go to committee room to discuss the fate of this matter, that we hold in mind that we have the utmost responsibility of maintaining the dignity and prestige of this honorable body, in order that tomorrow when we shall have left this place, those that will come after us will be able to reference us, or history will be able to absorb us in a positive direction. Having said that, I would now want to ask the committee for a motion or a way forward.
Thank you. Motion, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I think having listened here to the complainant, proceeded well, highlighted many things are being done by Yekeh Y Kolubah, and then observing by ourselves, seeing the dignity of the lawmakers to be displayed in a form, I think it's not reasonable us. If you are an honorable person, you need to act honorably. While Yekeh Y Kolubah bearing the titles of a lawmaker, honorable person, you cannot go out there and act like a immaturity child. He's a mature person. So, having said that, I move, if I can obtain a second, that the committee chair, we put our ideas together, and then they reply to plenary to do due diligence to this hearing.
It has been seconded that the motion for Honorable Nathaniel Bawe of Grand Creek County has been seconded by Honorable Robert Flomo Wumbe of District Number 4, Bond County, with the motion stating that this hearing come to a halt, to an end. I'm becoming more military. This hearing come to an end as the committee be able to make that report to plenary for subsequent determination or action. Having restated the motion, are you ready to vote?
Already.
Yeah, Honorable Paul, already.
Okay. Honorable Presiding, distinguished colleagues, to the movement. Mr. Movement, I will be ready to vote for you to accept this amendment that the complainant made available to the committee all evidence, whether video or whatever evidence he has in his possession to substantiate his claim, being made available to the committee. I'll be ready to vote for you to accept that.
I please totally accept.
Okay, with the acceptance of the amendment, are we all ready to vote?
Yes.
Committee members, those in favor of the motion, please do by putting up your right hand. 1, 2. Okay. Those against? Those abstain?
Vote is unanimous.
Madam Clerk, please read us the result of the vote.
We have 5 for, 1 against, no abstention. Any unanimous?
With the unanimous vote, as presiding of this committee, I do hereby announce that the motion is hereby carried. So with that being said, Mr. Honorable Complainant, it is our hope and prayer that you cooperate with this committee, along with the defendant or Honorable Kolubah, while the committee is still yet to make a final report to plenary. He still had the opportunity, if he so desire. Yeah, maybe like the motion said, for the pieces of evidence in your possession to substantiate the claims. Please do it by submitting to this plenary latest of tomorrow to afford, not plenary to the committee, to afford the committee to have a final discussion, maybe in room or wherever, in chat room, wherever they may agree to be able to make the report to plenary. And we also say to members of the committee, thank you so much for honoring the invite and taking off the time to ensure that this matter is carefully and keenly looked into, and also to our our staff, including the clerical staff. I want to say to you, thank you for devoting your time to your work. Also to the Sergeant at Arms, I want to say thank you so much for coming. To the members of the public that are viewing this hearing, we say to you, thank you for having the interest to witness or view this hearing. And to the press, we say thank you so much. We are grateful for the opportunity to ensure that what is being done here today, or what is ongoing here today, can be transmitted to the larger society through your medium. So with that being said, I will now request for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
This is undebatable. Thank you.
Folks, thank you so much. That was a hearing of a claim filed against Representative Yekeh Y Kolubah of his colleague, Honorable Jonathan S. Williams of District TD River County. Complaint against Representative Yekeh Y Kolubah. So the committee has concluded their hearing, and folks, next will be the committee report to plenary as regards this hearing. Folks, thank you so much for this.
Thank you for